And the reason why the metals are so important is, I worked with the weapons expert Mark Steele, and he explained that the reason why they're loading us with these heavy metals is because it makes facial reconnaissance from space and satellite recognition so much easier. So a human that doesn't have a lot of metals in there can't really be seen. And if you look at StarLink and the global idea of, Big Brother tracking everything, smart cities, it's all interrelated, the whole track and trace and biometric identification part.
It's incredible. All this stuff that I've been seeing and talking about that I was basically saying is going to happen in the future, they've already been doing it. I've even been talking about the Bill Gates 666 patent for years and how he was going to put operating systems into people and actually mine cryptocurrency from it. And you actually have already looked into that, and you're basically saying that's already going on right now. And before I let you talk about that, when you thought, or when COVID had just come out and all of a sudden you had this respiratory failure, you actually looked into it and you believed that you had this nanotech in you and they could actually target you with things like 5G. And you say that's with everyone. So everyone's got this in them now. They can actually right now target anyone to make them have a respiratory failure, a heart attack, all that kind of stuff. So maybe talk about all that stuff and the Bill Gates patent and how that all is going on right now.
So the whole idea is that, if you are manipulating people's brain function, which is very easy to do, then you can have total world control and world dominance. And that's actually in the technocratic literature, that the idea is, they want to create, for example, this telepathy, connect multiple brains together. They already have thought control, meaning, the employers would be able to monitor the brain waves of their employees. This was already presented in 2023 at the World Economic Forum, for example. So there's all these technologies present, and what the ultimate, dark side of it is the total control of humanity through mind control. So Clifford Carnicom and I, we did experiments on the human blood because we were trying to figure out what is really the difference between vaxxed and unvaxxed people. So we took unvaccinated blood and applied a low-level electrical current, and what happened to it was that it would develop the same rubbery clots and filaments that was in vaxxed blood. And then we chemically analyzed it through near-infrared spectroscopy, and they had the same chemical signature, the polyvinyls, the polyalcohol silicone. Then what we did was we used a spectrometer from 0 to 25,000 hertz. And it turns out that vaccinated blood is the only difference between the two at this point, is highly sensitive to 4 hertz. 4 hertz is extra low frequency that's used by HAARP, High Active Auroral Research Project. So there's radars beaming every night around 3 a.m., for example, around the world, and they're beaming frequencies, and they're programming people's brains, as well as they can program people, through their cell phone, their Wi-Fi, 5G, and all of that. And it's interacting with the technology. So the micro robots are bidirectional telemetry. What that means is, for medical purposes, they call it precision medicine. They can, for example, have this nanotechnology injected, and they've done that for injections, for example, like Enbrel, which is an autoimmune disease drug, and it says there that Cedars-Sinai Hospital investigated the microelectronics. I looked at Enbrel under the microscope. I showed that it's self-assembling nanotechnology. I showed the nano antenna and the integrated semiconductor circuitry. So this is already real, and in the military literature, for example, in the document called Cyborg Soldier 2050, they discuss there that the healthcare system will be the way that the population gets used to cyborg technologies. And it will be under the disguise of, curing cancer, curing Alzheimer's and all of these things. So here's where you have AI Stargates, project, and you have people that work with the CIA that are now using artificial intelligence computing power, to supposedly cure cancer. I've looked at people who, for example, had chemotherapeutic drugs, and some of the biggest micro robots that I've ever seen have been in their blood. So the whole point is that the micro robots, they send your biometric data to your cell phone and through the cell phone to the cloud, where this data produces your digital twin in the metaverse. These technocrats, they want to create or have been creating a copy of our universe with all of the data. This is why they've been, chemtrailing smart sensors and smart dust. The whole point is data, data, data. So every microbe, every living organism, every human being, and all of its activity is being monitored through these nanosensors, and that information sent to the cloud, where in this metaverse, artificial intelligence, algorithms, and supercomputing powers are monitoring these aspects. The problem is that the telemetry is bidirectional, so they can send a frequency. For example, if AI decides that the decision that you're currently making based on your brainwave function, which is simply a frequency, isn't the best choice for you, they can modify a superposition through the quantum computing algorithm and actually send that to your micro robots and change your brainwave function, and you now make a different decision. So you are, in fact, a mind-controlled cyborg robot.
Wow.